Hello, Zaroga, my champions. I hope you're all having a wonderful BlizzCon. If not, you're sat like me on my fat ass watching the virtual ticket. And I'm joined here by the god, base god, Ruffin.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm here.
He's here, finally, after fucking how many weeks?
Oh god, it's been
Months.
forever. It's
Is it
since the
months?
summer.
Ugh. I met him in the summer.
Oh god, I hate Calvin Harris. Anyways, carry on.
Oh yeah, no. Fucking roll back a second. No, I'm fucking with you. Right, so unless you've been living under a rock the last day or two, you'll realise that Legion has been spouting out info. BlizzCon has been shitting out more questions than answers at the moment, in my personal opinion.
Too true.
True. But we've had the time to sit down, have a look at it. I've had time to sleep it off and get round to having a look at some of the things. So we had a new cinematic, which was amazing.
So good.
At least.
Very good.
Very amazing.
I think it's their best since Wrath, personally.
Oh, that's saying something. I was going to say Cataclysm was one of my favourites. Because it was very direct. And this one's pretty direct as well. I mean, we had
Fair enough.
questions. I mean, major spoilers, by the way. You shouldn't be watching this unless you've watched the trailer. Major spoilers. I'm guessing Varian dies.
Oh yeah, I said in the beginning, like that was my big theory. Varian is dead, and then I watched this trailer and I'm like, oh, Varian is absolutely dead.
Just sort of like rubbing yourself like, fuck
Yeah.
yes, I was so right.
I was like when he was like drowning in the water, I'm like, that's not how they're gonna kill him. Bullshit.
Oh my god,
And then,
yeah.
Yeah, and then he swam back out and started fighting. I'm like, oh, okay, that's better.
Oh
Because
my
they're
God.
not going to let Varian go out in their cinematic in the worst way possible.
No, you're just like, oh, there's armor's too heavy.
Yeah.
Stick
But-
like a stone.
But I am so sure Varian is dead this expansion that there's no way he's getting out of this alive.
Ooh, now you say that, I love the idea of perhaps a,
The twist and Anduin dies instead.
yeah.
No,
Oh, I love that.
at best, Varian ends up in a super coma. Like seriously,
Super coma.
or like mentally disabled and like had like half his head cut off or something. Like he's not getting out of this in one.
Forza rough. Okay, Varian, okay, back to Storm.
Yeah, exactly.
I love you, Uncle Greyman. His mane is Grey
Oh.
Mane.
Oh my god.
No, I think I would love the idea of a corrupted champion sort of feel. I feel like that's the way that most of this expansion will go, like the corrupted sort of thing. I mean, how amazing.
Keen on
would that be?
corruption though. I don't think you're wrong. I bet that is how they're gonna go. I'm just not excited for it personally.
I'm just,
It feels overdone. Like everybody in the Warcraft lore has been corrupted at some point. Like, I mean, starting with Sargeras, of course, and then you have like Grom has been corrupted a couple times. The entire orc fucking race was corrupted. You know, I want to say 3/4, probably more of the Eridar were corrupted.
yeah.
The Scarlet Crusade is corrupted by a Dreadlord from the inside.
Yeah.
Arthas is corrupted. Deathwing was corrupted.
It's just
fucking-
that sort of like, can you just
Everybody.
fucking kill
It's just-
someone?
It is Blizzard's go-to for insanity.
Yeah, I guess it's just that sort of like, okay, how's Varian gonna die? Like, is it just gonna get knocked over, killed, and that's the end of it? Or like, because some people,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
they-
do that to a hero. He's had, I mean, fucking Logosh, Wolfheart, that entire book dedicated to him is amazing.
They could pull a Sarfang with him. Sarfang the Younger, I guess.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
They'd have Anduin fight him after a 40-second long RP scene. And you get, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be quite. That'd be. And he's like, Father, and he's like, oh, I don't know. He just starts speaking demonic and
The
shit.
name of my father, Logosh. It means White Wolf.
Yeah.
I promised my mother I would bury him in the graveyard in the storm. Do the whole thing.
And then fucking Thrall pops out and he's like, let a grieving son pass.
Exactly.
Fucking
Oh god,
Viper is just like crying in a little snorking like.
somebody needs to write that. I might write that.
Damn
Anyways,
it.
let's get on with the main event.
Let's get on indeed with the main event. So, what exactly happened in the trailer? Let's start summing it up. They're on their way to the Broken Isles, where the invasion seems to be happening, and he's writing a letter to his son about home, saying how he might not return, and how he's lost so much, but now he's beginning to trust. which is then accompanied by a nice big middle finger from Sylvanas swinging in from the left like, yep, you trust me now, don't you?
Yeah. Frankly, all the dialogue you can really brush over. It's not that important. Except
Yes.
the very end where he says for Azeroth instead of for the Alliance. That's really the only big.
Yeah. Now this
Which
goes against what they've said as well, isn't it? Because they've said 5 years on and tensions are rising between the Alliance and the Horde.
Hmm.
And after watching this trailer, it's just like, oh, well, is there? Is there any? Seems okay
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah, it seems fine.
Yeah.
Except for like Jaina, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. We don't know what she is.
In the actual trailer, not much really happens. So they're flying through the Broken Isles. They're in the airships, respectively. It looks awesome, by the way.
Oh,
The airships are totally. I've always liked them. They're great looking.
Yeah, they've always got that like
Oh.
big steampunk feel, but they've just put on that
Exactly.
sort of, like, you can imagine it in game as well. Like, oh my god, that's exactly what they look like.
Yeah, exactly. Really reminds me of Warhammer almost.
Oh god, yeah.
And so they're just flying. The Legion attacks them. There's a little fight. Varian ship goes down because an Infernal hits it. What great
You've
name.
got the bit where Sylvanas saves Varian.
Yeah. Exactly. That was Infernal's best day. That Infernal flew through the sky and landed right on the big ship.
Thank you, based Infernal.
Like, he's getting a promotion if he wasn't dead.
I don't think. Oh, he just fell. He was just like, oh well, fuck.
Yeah, and then Varian and Sylvanas fight the Infernal together and kill it. It crash lands. Varian's like, he's in his heavy armor, so he's like drowning. He's like, I'll die one day, right in the dialogue. It's like, he's not going to die here. Sure enough, he takes off his shoulder
Yeah, he's
pad,
going on about hope
swims
and
up.
stuff.
splits his sword into the two, and starts fighting
Hope.
demons, and Sylvanas is there too, and that's
It's worth
how it
fighting for.
Yeah.
And he split Charlemagne in two, and I was like, ah.
It was cool as hell.
Yeah, he split it in two into the respective elven daggers, and I was like, oh fuck yes, because they only listed that in Wolfheart when they get split, and I was like, ah.
Oh yeah,
yes.
they like never mention it.
Yeah, which means that he can split, like it's canon that he can split it.
This also means Varian is a single-minded Fury warrior, which makes him way better.
Yes.
So that's kind of the trailer. There's not much more to it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
There's not much to it.
On the
I thought
shores of Legion, they're all going off, all killing each other. Sylvanas is down there as well, so that's the initial sort of reaction. So Sylvanas is pushed in there. When I was watching the stream, one of the guys was saying as well, what was it now? It was the Heroes of the Storm. They've added Gain Greymane. It was like, well, that's great. And the guy in the fucking thing was just like, yeah. And he's playing a pivotal role in Legion, so it's only fair he plays a pivotal role in Legion. Fucking World of fucking Storm. And I'm like, wait, fucking rewind. Gen's getting a part? Right, okay then. And then I think just like we read some of the stuff, and he's like, oh, how is he going to deal with the Dark Lady and sort of thing. So, I think if Sylvanas dies at the start, there might be some upset, perhaps. Maybe the PvP's led by again Greymane, because he's like, now's my chance to fucking strike down and, take back what was rightfully ours, etc., etc. But, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay. You want to move on to some tidbits of lore we got from BlizzCon?
We did. This one is posted by
Cannibal on the US Story Forum. My old home.
Yeah, let's say you showed me this today, and I've got to say this guy is very, very punctual and very straight to the point.
Yes, he is. Cannibal is a great poster.
Yeah, and what he's done is he's picked out on the website. I'll try and link it if I remember. I'll write it down. They linked out all the artifact weapons on the website and basically what your specialization weapon will be, which has caused controversy and some happiness as well, which is very, very good. What he's done is he's picked out the bits that actually matter, because some of them are just sort of made up on the spot, just as a here's your weapon. So what he's learnt so far: an unnamed Moarg serving the Legion fought uprisings for over 1,000 years. Now, I'm not 100% sure what a Moarg is, to be honest with you. I've not heard the term before.
Oh, they're the race. If you play in the Burning Crusade, in Hellfire Peninsula, there's all the Moarg engineers. That's who they are.
Oh, yes, sorry, I'm good
Little
at
deformed,
yes.
Hunchback of Notre Dame kind of guys.
Yes, I'm seeing these guys now. Just,
Yeah, that's who they are.
right, so they're sort of just like a... They're weird, aren't they? They almost
So
look
one of
like,
them has been serving Legion, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so he's been fighting uprisings for over 1,000 years. So I'm guessing he'll be a boss. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, yeah. An
He'll probably be.
unknown. This is quite.
This
I,
is
I
good.
love. This is a good one. An unknown human ethnicity known as Tirisgard exists.
So this means that there were original humans who lived in Lordaeron before Lordaeron was even created.
Indeed.
That's what I'm getting from this. So probably one of the early tribes. So I'd say this is around the time of the Erethdor tribe, probably even before them, the Arathis, because that's when there were a bunch of different human tribes that they eventually all conquered. The Arathi all conquered them. So maybe there was one up at Lordaeron, and they just never were found, or they just survived. But this is an unknown ethnicity. So I guess I'm not going to say there's a whole race there. They probably just bred into the rest of the population as time went on. But there's probably something about them, like they have, because that's where, as we learned, well, we'll get to it. But Tearsfall is named after Tearsfall, which I assumed for a long time. So maybe it has something to do with either Tyr's blood or the old god means that he fought. Some way it's going to relate to those two.
Quite so.
So maybe you'll get something like I don't know. Is there any prominent human figures from Lordaeron right now? Anybody that's still alive? Because
Kayla, perhaps Arthas' sister. She's sort of just.
oh yeah, true. Well,
no, I don't think there is really.
There's really not any Lordaeron people alive.
No.
But if there were, you could say that they have the blood of Tirisgard in them, or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Sort of go in the Lofar sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like the blood of the descendants.
demon hunters can be revived in the twisting nether by demons. Honestly, that's not really something that's too new. Ever since the Archimon debacle, I kind of assumed this would happen.
Yeah, well, the big.
This is how they confirmed Illidan came back, right?
Well, I'm really angry now because it's saying that demon hunters fight the Legion and they infuse themselves with demons, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it would be like murdering a bunch of doctors and then getting taken to the hospital for your wounds. It's very sort of what's happening.
It is odd.
Why would they?
But on one hand, doesn't that make it... Maybe that's the point, though. It's like a big sacrifice to be a demon hunter, because you know you'll live your whole life fighting demons, and eventually when you do die, you're going to get destroyed by demons again.
That's understandable, but what demons within their right mind do it?
Yeah, that's true. That's the other thing. Unless they just want to torture some poor sap forever.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like a Ner'zhul kind of thing.
Oh dear. That
But
one,
no.
I think that's a bit more...
I don't quite understand it either. I think it's just their
Game.
way of bringing Illidan back.
I think that's just for the game.
I think it's just one of those things where it can happen. Not that they would do it on a regular basis, but so they needed the loophole without bringing back Illidan. That's all there is to it.
True.
Okay, next.
There was a species called the I can't even say Aldraki? Alrashi.
Aldrachi.
Aldrashi. That are incorruptible, immune to fel. Incorruptible and immune to fel. They fought back against the Legion. Yes, they fought against the Legion and killed innumerable demons before finally being wiped out. Their greatest champion was personally killed by Sargeras. We've got someone who stands toe to toe with Broxigar, if not more.
Oh, I think more than Broxigar. But I mean, you think about it this way: their entire people fought against the Burning Legion for a very long time and killed a whole lot of them, and took Sargeras personally showing up for them to be defeated, which is actually just similar to Azeroth, except during the War of the Ancients, you know, the last really big Burning Legion invasion. I think it's bigger than the Third War personally, but I can't, quantify that. But during there, the Night Elf forces and the alliance there were getting pretty much beat by the Legion before Sargeras showed up.
Yeah, true.
So that's the difference here. Here, this planet was kicking ass until Sargeras showed up.
I'm just very interested in the fact of, like, if Sargeras... But the big hoo-ha about Sargeras making his way to Azeroth is not only he will be a big threat, but just his presence will just break open.
Yeah, that was his thing. Break the old god's prisons because he's that fucking strong when he shows up.
So the big sort of hoo-ha here is, like, these guys fought forever and ever and ever, and then Sargeras came and busted it open. We know on other planets there's old gods and things. So...
Maybe just on that planet, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. It's just a bit like, wow, okay.
A new ancient guardian, a panther named Ashamain. That's really familiar. Fought alongside Cenarius during the War of the Ancients. She died to the Legion but saved many lives. A shrine was made to her in Val Shara. I'm assuming that's a place in the Broken Isles. Googling it.
Indeed.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so Ashamain. That's actually a really familiar name. How do I know Ashamain? Like I've definitely. Maybe I'm just. Oh, you know what? I think I'm just being dyslexic right now and relating it to Charlemagne. You know.
I'm trying to remember the name of the wolf that fought in the Legion. I remember like it was like an old
Uh.
tale.
Oh, that was Logash's other name.
Yeah, but
Goldrin.
that's the one. I thought it was
Yeah.
something like that. A
What a
new
pain.
ancient guardian. I think that's what I just like. What
It's not
question?
really new though.
That's
They just
contradicting as fuck.
they
I'm
think
sorry.
Blizzard made it up now because they were apparently around during the War of the Ancients. It's not a Rick and Morty thing where they just put it into your mind.
I don't know, Rick. We should be. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure there's no guardian, Rick.
Mr. Poopy
Shut up,
Butthole.
Morty. It's a Legion invasion, Morty.
Exactly. Uh,
The
yeah, I don't
keeper
know.
Freya.
We'll find out more about her.
The
The Keeper
keeper.
Freya.
So that's the Freya that was killed in
Ulduar.
yeah, I was gonna say yeah,
Yeah,
killed Nubar.
that's her.
Crafted weapons for the ancient guardians, specifically Ursoc.
So the Bear Twins are getting some weapons that will then be probably Druid artifact weapons.
Yeah,
There's much more to it.
I imagine we are on the druid thing now at the moment.
It is interesting that Freya is the one that crafted weapons. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of her.
Mm.
But what was her title? She made plants. She was the protector of all living things. That was her epitaph. She protected living things.
She was the warden of it, wasn't she?
And she making weapons. Whatever.
These claws is the great Biff, one of the wild gods. He wielded the claws in countless battles until his death during the War of the Ancients.
Yeah.
Although his body faded away, the claws remained, and legends say a fragment of his spirit lingered with him.
Interesting.
This is where it now also gets interesting. After wresting with the claws away from Ursoc's Furlbog followers, a band of druids took the claws to the Emerald Dream, sought out Ursoc's spirit, and returned the claws to him for safekeeping. So,
Okay. Artifact weapon.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can get it. You can take stuff into the Emerald Dream, sort of thing, which I thought was a bit weird because
That is interesting.
yeah, because I thought it was just that sort of like we dream. So, you know, you're gonna dream and
Not take stuff with you because it's a
yeah.
dream. But the druids have lots of special powers involving the Emerald Dream. So, fair.
Yeah, very
Okay.
weird, very weird.
Next up, Eowyn was the only female guardian of Tirisfal. Okay,
Yep.
not much else to that.
Yep, the mages will be getting the Guardian of Tirisfal's staff, which is
Eowyn's at least,
Asia.
not
yeah.
Yashash.
Oh god.
Next up, Fuzan was one of the first trees ever planted on Azeroth by Freya, placed in Pandaria. So yeah, this is one of those weird things that we talked about this a little bit before we started recording.
Yeah.
I have never ever heard of it, and it does not exist until right now. So in Pandaria, it's never mentioned during all of Mists of Pandaria. So the first theory that was brought up was that maybe it's the tree that the Emperor plants at the end of Siege of Orgrimmar, but then that's not named. It just says magical tree. So the other idea here, you want to tell them?
Yeah, the tree that the Klaxi originally lived in. Because it's huge, it runs deep. They said it runs out through Pandaria, and it's originally it was part of the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, wasn't it? Which is quote the original creations of the Titans.
I really like that one. I think that is the answer. I think Fuzan is going to be the Klaxi's home.
Yes,
I bet that's it. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah, so I'm guessing this is a monk weapon, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah, or the Wanderer's Companion. The forests descended from it, and then blah blah blah. Yeah, it's just a bit like very, 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 very confusing. It gave life to Pandaria, essentially, and that sort of thing. And then she says it gets passed on to all the spirits of Pandaria, so it gets passed on to Yulon, Jade Serpent, and the Monkey King. Just a bit with okay, so this immensely powerful artifact has just sort of been there?
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of weird that the Klaxi never picked it up, but you know.
Yeah, like, okay, so this grew it, and then the corruptions obviously happened and went on.
Yeah. Next up, the Titans favored the Vrykul as champions in fighting the corrupted Loken. So this is actually interesting, because it means that the Titans knew about Loken being corrupted, and that happened, well, a long time ago, but not so long ago. So the Titans were around for a while, actually. This also means Loken was corrupted by Yogg-Saron. So they would have been around, so he would have been imprisoned, and they stuck around after Yogg-Saron was imprisoned, and they knew that his corruption was leaking out of Ulduar, which is really, really weird. I frankly, it's just odd to me.
What would your theory be?
I don't even really have a theory right now besides oversight by Blizzard, but the Regulars champions, that makes sense. That's why they were
Yeah.
made. You know, they're the Wardens, they're the Warriors. But specifically using them to fight corrupted Loken is weird because why wouldn't the Titans just kill Loken themselves?
Hmm.
Maybe they got like a broadcast from far away and the Titans were just like, yeah, do your thing. But
Yeah.
it doesn't imply that, you know? It's just
No.
a weird tidbit.
I'm just interested in the fact that the Titans have been in contact since the Old God corruption. I mean, that's even weirder. I mean,
That
I
is.
know they must have done it, but like, did they know about the Curse of Flesh then? I mean, it
I
doesn't
don't
seem
know.
like it because throughout all of the
No,
lip
no, they
speaking
did.
things.
The Titans knew about the Curse of Flesh.
Hmm. But then
Yeah,
that
because
would mean they knew about the Old God
that's why
corruption.
that's why they installed the origination device.
I suppose, but you know,
Yeah.
if they knew it well before then.
Oh yeah. I mean, they've talked to us too a couple
Yeah, it's
times.
just like, well, if they knew about it before,
Um,
then why even bother? Okay, moving on. Yeah. Admiral Elsa Goldblade made herself known after the Shattering Sun as a plundering pirate wielding the cursed Dreadblades, Fate and Fortune. She is well known to many pirates.
not much there either. You know,
Rogues
it's
getting
the new.
pirate weapon, cool.
Yeah. If you see them though, they're very cool. I
Yeah.
am a huge fan of those weapons,
Design is on point.
except for the blue and yellow. Because why would you have colorful weapons? Whatever.
For the
You
other
know what? I
ones.
can live with it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Gora, the Devourer. Sargeras' personal hound fell on an unknown planet when overwhelmed by a species fighting the Legion. Yes!
more evidence that other planets besides Atheros have fought against the Legion and been successful to at least some extent. This might have actually been the same planet with those guys who were incorruptible that we talked about up above,
Yep.
but I think in this case not, because they fell on an unknown planet and they just said a
Mm.
species, not a specific one. But this does just add bearing to the fact that the Legion is not some indestructible, invincible fighting force,
Yeah,
which
which
we've
is.
known for a while. But
Yeah.
the idea was that Azeroth is just really special because we're the crown jewel in the Titan's creation. But this implies that no, not necessarily. Other
Yeah.
people can too.
There's obviously
They'll
something
lose.
else happening
They'll
on other
lose
planets.
eventually, but they'll fight too.
Yeah, exactly. Arkady is one of Sargeras' most deadly assassins.
Okay.
I've never even heard. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, what's your occupation? I am
Yeah.
Sargeras' deadly champion.
Yeah. New boss battle. That's all I'm seeing.
Alright, cool, man. Whatever.
Um,
Satiel was the first necrolite to walk Azeroth. He was given a scythe by Sargeras himself. Satiel patrolled Deadwind Pass, draining all who entered their life essence, but was eventually destroyed by a Guardian of Tirisfal.
Okay, upside down Karazhan, right here. This is our justification for it. You're hearing it here. You first.
To walk Azeroth. He was given a scythe by Sargeras. Sargeras was just like, here you go, buddy. Go down there.
Exactly. But seriously, Karazhan Crypts. I bet that's where the people who get this weapon. Is it Warlock or Mage?
For which one? Sorry. Oh,
I think it's Mage.
yeah, I'm not too sure actually. If it's Necrolite, let me have a look.
It's probably Warlock. In any case, I'm betting almost 100% that the Warlock.
It's Affliction Warlock.
Yeah, the Warlocks are going to go down to Karazhan and they're going to end up in Karazhan Crypts. Maybe not the original version that we have in game right now, but in some version of the Karazhan Crypts, and that's where they're going to get it. Because upside down Karazhan is awesome, and this implies that there's more stuff to it.
The first Necrolite to walk the world of Azeroth, Satiel, was given the scythe by the Titan Sargeras himself, Morty. It grows in power as it draws out souls from its victims. The Harvester earned its name as Satiel methodically drained all life from hapless inhabitants of Deadwind Pass, creating a potent magical nexus there in the process.
Yep.
Hunting down Satiel, the Guardian of Tirisfal turned the scythe on her, sending her soul to join those of her victims. Eventually, the Dark Riders recovered the weapon and secreted it beneath the Tower of Karazhan.
There we go. Karazhan Crypts right there. By the way, did you say her at some point?
I did.
Because it starts with saying Sashiel. He was given a scythe, and then it turns
I
into...
think hunting down Satiel, the Guardian of Tirisfal turned the scythe on her.
On her would imply that Sashiel is a woman. Okay, I think Blizzard just doesn't know what gender to make them.
Well,
I don't know.
The Guardian was a dude, and
Are you
Satiel
sure
was a
the Guardian
girl.
was... Well, yeah, it's not Aegwyn. We know that
No,
much.
it's not. It just says a Guardian of Tirisfal.
I guess Sashiel started as a man and became a woman. You know what? Good for him. Good for her. Good for her. Okay.
Thalkiel was a great Draenei leader who summoned and bound void creatures. Eventually, he was contacted by demons, and Archimon struck down the man, turning his skull into a gilded war sign for all who would dare to do as he did. The skull was later used by
Mephistroth, who is from Warcraft 3. Blizzard remembered their Dreadlord. He was the third Dreadlord. He was friends with Varamothras and the other guy, Techandrius. He was the other one. I'm shocked that Blizzard remembered who he was, because I forgot until I googled it a couple hours ago. But yeah, that's another artifact weapon. Maybe Mephistroth will be coming back, because he is a Dreadlord, and Dreadlords come back. Maybe it's
I've got his skull, so
I bet that's where. I bet it's going to be an artifact for Warlocks still, and part of their quest is going to be to kill Mephistroth, who's back on Azeroth.
I think all the. I'm assuming all the artifact weapons will reside in a large boss battle of some description.
Of course. Yes, of course. Okay. King Thoradin, a masterful barbarian, was the first to unite humanity under one banner, Erethdor. We've actually known this for a while. This is not real new information.
No,
but hey, cool. Take it. I really like the early lore. It's cool.
Oh shit! You know what we were saying earlier?
What?
There is a forgotten tomb beneath Tirisfal where a Kathraxi monstrosity resides.
Okay, as of this moment, we don't know what a Kathraxi is. No. It's been mentioned a couple times throughout the Legion post, but it's not confirmed what it is. Obviously, there's the Cthulhu thing. It's very obviously an old god sort of thing at some point. It might even be the last old god, if not just some old god minion. Or maybe it's an old god race. Like, the joke was that there's the Cloxy and there's Cthulhu, so this is his version of the Cloxy, the Kathraxi. But, you know, that's just a joke. Frankly, I don't know what a Kathraxi is. But, Forgotten Tomb beneath Tirisfal. That has to be Tyr's. That has to be Tyr's grave. I don't see any other option. It has to be his, because that's where he died. And he died to minions.
I think you're spot on about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see any other way.
Down there, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're getting, but that has to be it.
Long ago, a Titanic keeper named Odin betrayed the sorceress Helya, killing her and twisting her spirit into a Valkyr. Helya gave cursed swords to a Vikor champion, who used them to hunt the greatest of heroes and drag their souls away to serve them in Helheim.
Okay, so Helheim is that new zone, right? Above the Broken Isles?
It is indeed.
Okay. So, I want to say Helya's not the first Valkyr. Maybe she is, but she turned into a Valkyr. And then she moved out to more people to help her out, where she lives in Helheim. Now, we're going to learn more about all of these characters, at least both of them, in Legion, but I currently did not really know a lot about Odin or Helya. I can't speculate, because I just don't know enough. I can't say good guy. I'm assuming Helya was actually a bad guy here, because in the next lore tidbit, here, let's just read it now. A Vrykul king named Magnar Icebreaker carried a shield made from one of Neltharian's scales, but finally battled due to the treachery of Helya. Okay, so he had Deathwing shield, and he was betrayed by Helya. Helya's clearly a bad guy.
I'm a warrior. I don't care.
Unless Magnar was a huge asshole and he was a Vrykul, so he probably was. So I'm really not sure if Helya's a good guy or a bad guy here. I do not know.
Just seems like a power-hungry king, if anything.
Yeah.
And he states at the bottom, all quoted from this main website. Lots of strange tidbits here and there, lots of nameless heroes in unknown times, lots of phrases that I don't understand, like whoever Odin or Helya was, or what a Tirisgard human, or what a Kathraxi is. So yeah, there seems to be some...
Odin does not have a page on Wikipedia, so...
No. I've been Googling it as we've been going across.
Well, there we have it, folks.
Yeah, so...
A lot of new lore, all from artifact weapons. I think these will be pretty good, actually. I think the lore is going to be good.
I think
get more
back. Some retconning going on.
Oh, absolutely. But what are you going to do?
Get angry.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well, at least they've pushed the boat out on it. I mean, it's nice to see the way they've been doing it. Well, whilst we're here, we may as well talk about the fucking shaman's weapon.
Oh, sure.
I was reading it for the Doomhammer. Now we were all very confused where it's coming from. Is it going to be the fucking Design X? Is it the one from Draenor, or is it from the actual Thrall? And a lot of people seem to be. I think Noble said that it's actually our Thrall's one because it has the design on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has the Frostwolf clan emblem on it, just
Yeah.
hovering over it. It absolutely does.
Yeah. Whereas in this one, the Doomhammer was long wielded by Orgrim Doomhammer, one of the greatest orc warriors of the Horde, and now it rests with Thrall, one of the most powerful shamans Azeroth has ever known.
So it's definitely ours.
So it's definitely ours now, yeah. Exactly. So it's just a bit like, okay, so what happened to the other one then?
You notice how they pimped it out a little bit, like they made it more fancy looking,
Yeah.
when originally it's just a plain black hammer.
Yeah, well, they should. I mean, it'd be very bad to give that sort of thing to them.
Oh, I think it's way cooler to have just really simple weapons that kick ass and to have something gigantic. You know, actually, because this reminds me of something. The Mogu, remember the whole thing? They had gigantic, terrible-looking weapons that they couldn't really use in battle because they were just for intimidation.
Yeah.
Well, joke's on us now.
Oh my god, that's absolutely...
I just remember that from one of the loading screens of Mr. Pandaria, which I looked at for way too long.
True.
So Thrall is dead.
We would like to think so.
I think Thrall and Varian both bite at this expansion.
Yeah, it'd make a nice bit of sense, if anything. It's got to happen. I mean, they're pushing. I mean, Metzen was very like on the. He was very. I don't know. Something about him this year made me think like, no, you're up to something this year. I mean, this last time he was just like, yeah, Raffian's up to something, blah 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 blah, and I was like, okay. But in this one, he says, and the shore is in the mist settle, and you know, we're not always going to be able to win every battle, right, guys? And everyone's like, woo, woo. He's like, let's watch the trailer. And I'm like, no, you get back here. Get your fucking ass back here and talk to me.
Yeah.
So...
and there's another Legion thread we should talk about.
Yeah, owl one. Get out of here.
Grumpo! Thank you to Grumpo from the BlizzCon lore log, of which we have sticky right now in Warcraft lore. Grumpo kicks ass because he compiled our list of stuff that we heard at BlizzCon, because he's great.
Thank you.
So, here we go. By the way, you talking or you coughing?
I'm a little bit of both. You take over.
Okay. So, I'll just read out some pretty quick ones. First thing, Gul'dan opening a massive portal over the Broken Isles. Okay. It's fine. Varian and Sylvanas fighting together, leading the fight against the Legion invasion. That's in the cinematic. So, it is interesting. A Varian I get. Why they would choose Sylvanas to head the attack against the Legion, I guess it'd be kind of funny if they pulled the whole biblical thing, or they're just like, we don't like Sylvanas, let's send her on the front line so that she can have her suicide mission, which makes sense, but I can't imagine Sylvanas volunteered for this unless she had prior information about the Valkyr's homeland of time, which is that is a possibility. Also, Varian now believes in peace with the Horde. Yep. Yeah, he mentioned that.
Which is good. 5 years have passed and his son...
For the Alliance. That was for Azeroth. That was cool.
For Azeroth.
Didn't get anything else out of the opening ceremony. Yeah, the cinematic was very good. All the artifacts are out. We talked about those. We went through those just now.
Yep.
Legion panel. Gul'dan sent to our Azeroth to fulfill his pact to Legion. Yeah, so AU Gul'dan ends up back in our MU Azeroth because, you know, the Legion and the Twisting Nether goes across all universes. Remember that tweet? Remember that, guys? Remember Archimonde's back. Archimond is the same Archimond that killed before.
No, make it stop.
Oh, God.
Make it stop.
So Gul'dan is back. That's really all it is. So they brought Gul'dan because he survived from Warlords, and yeah, he kicks it off. Yeah. Actually, this is the second time he's kicked off an expansion. The first time...
Oh, there's a massive spider in my room.
Dude. Spiders are pros. Let it live.
I know, it just shit my pants. It's got its foot on the door.
That's awesome.
Is it going underneath? No, it's going around the side.
Oh, that's a shame. Maybe he's a... See.
Oh, it's disappearing. I don't know what it's doing, but I'm scared now. I'll leave it.
Okay, Gul'dan is filled with power of Legion by Kil'jaeden. Again, this is not really interesting to me.
Well, I think it is, because, you know, he had a pact with Archimonde originally to summon him in, but now, all of a sudden...
Oh, he's still getting... I mean, he's a battery. He's a battery to make portals. This is exactly what happened in Warlords, and it's happening again in Legion. Poor Gul'dan can't get a break. They just use him to power portals. First the Dark Portal, now the portal for the Legion.
He's my favorite green.
I almost feel bad for him. He wasn't such a dick. Okay. Unsealed Ancient Gateway at Tomb of Sargeras to kick off largest Legion invasion ever.
Yep.
Okay, so
everyone was like, so you said in the original one this compares to War of the Ancients, this one's bigger? They were like, yes, it's the largest ever.
Oh yeah.
Anywhere, and I was like, right, okay. I'm expecting literally. I was like, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting half the world to be ripped in half again.
No, the only thing I wish would happen is if I really wanted the Legion to show up in person rather than through portals, but this is a little thing. Anyways, cinematic is a direct handoff to the main story of Legion. Okay, so we're probably on the same boats with Sylvanas and Varian, and we'll just instantly jump into the action.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Broken Shore is the first zone and it's ground zero for the invasion. It's D-Day, basically. Oh, and it even says that. D-Day is now 40 minutes in the story. I did not see that. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be our D-Day. That's cool. I enjoy those type of things. Like, I thought the intro to Warlords, where you jump in, I thought that was awesome. Same thing with Mists. Did you play them at launch?
I did.
See, I played it at launch on my tiny server, and I was there with like 200 other people running through and kicking ass. It was great.
This was great, but it was just like, okay, be honest. If I don't want to sound elitist here, if you weren't a lore guy, you would not know what the fuck was going on as soon as you got there.
In Warlords?
Yeah, you just sort of arrive there. There's orcs coming out the portal.
I mean, you don't really need much story if you're not a lorehead. I mean, for loreheads like us, it's just kind of fun to, point out all the different warlords and stuff. Yeah. But for someone who's just a casual player, they just jump in and they're like, I'm kicking ass and killing orcs. No, not much to it.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's war, man.
I guess. It was just a bit of like a, what the fuck?
Yeah, fair enough. Alright, meet up with Jaina and Vol'jin. You didn't catch their names. Well, I didn't watch it, so I can't...
It was Jaina and Vol'jin.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just happy that Jaina is still here and not, like, in jail or something. Because we know that Jaina is no longer head of the Kirin Tor and that she's been replaced by Khadgar, which I do not like at all. I like Jaina as leader of the Kirin Tor, and I like Dalaran being an Alliance city because it adds more pressure. But I understand that they wanted Dalaran to be a neutral city, so they had to do it.
Yeah. Demon Hunters.
Demon Hunter stuff. Let's do it. Purpose is utter annihilation of Legion.
Good.
Okay, fair enough. Just like the Death Knight. Just like the Death Knights of the Ebon Blade.
So
it's just
fucking me. She went on a goddamn tomb.
Answer question what Illidan was up to at Black Temple in BC. Well, we kind of know that from the Warlock quest, I think, which was that he was trying to recreate the Well of Eternity on Outland.
Yeah.
But it was purified and that the demons would not be corrupted and enslaved by the Legion, they would be of their own, I want to say free will, or if they worked for him, I don't remember. But in either way, they weren't Legion-based demons, they were his demons.
Yeah,
so,
personals.
I guess either going to elaborate on that, or maybe there was something else going on. I'm not sure at this moment, but I'm interested to see that. Illidan opens portals to Mardum for elite group of demon hunters. Was that where the demon hunters started? I'm Googling it right now, because I don't...
It was, yeah. It's where,
That's where he was imprisoned?
It's where the demons were mainly imprisoned when Sargeras got corrupted and he broke them all out. So he sends them there because it's like a abandoned prison sort of thing. Okay.
Imprison demons on Mardum by Sargeras with Sargerite Keystone. Okay, so it's more questing. You get to Mardum and you enslave the demons that are there. Trust Sargerite Keystone to most loyal demons. So I guess you have the key, right? You lock up the demons, and you give said keystone to loyal demons. So maybe this is I'm guessing this ties into Illidan's Well of Eternity recreation, where you're able to get demons who aren't corrupted on our side.
That would also make sense in Resurrection as well.
It would. Now that Twisting Nether thing kind of makes sense. Maybe. It's still the Twisting Nether. I can't imagine...
It's existent Twisting Nether.
Alright, Sargerite Keystone is the goal of the demon hunter sent there by Illidan. It's likely their starting zone. Okay. New demon types. Imp Mother, Jailer, and Inquisitor. Imp Mother, I'm guessing, will just be the thing that spawns imps. It'll be cool to see. It'll be a big bloated thing, and it shoots them out like little rabbits. A Jailer, I have no idea what it'll look like. Maybe just like a Wrath Hunter. That's my guess.
Yeah,
but
I like the idea of like a big fat Wrath Guard.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And Inquisitor, I have literally no idea what it could be. It's just gonna be some demon that tortures people. Like that's
Yeah,
gonna be his
more
thing.
than likely.
I don't know what he's gonna look like.
Sort of like an assassin, I'd say.
Yeah, an assassin? Yeah, Inquisitors are like they're like the Spanish Inquisition, man. They just torture people. It's their
Yeah,
thing. I,
yeah.
I I guess it's kind of like an assassin.
Hmm. Demon
Anyway,
Hunter's ability stolen from slain demons.
that could be cool as hell.
That can be confusing as hell.
Oh, it would be. Whose Infernal is that? Is that ours or theirs? And it crashes down to the ground.
Sweet, still it. Yeah, that sort of thing where it's just like, wait a minute. So if a demon hunter were to kill somebody quite powerful, then
You know what this means? Spell still just became 20 times more powerful.
it's finally gonna earn its place on my
Yeah.
bar.
That Death Knight ability where you get to mirror attacks.
Yeah.
It's that. It's that with demons. I think this is cool. It might only be a gameplay mechanic, but I like that. That's cool. And then Fell Sabers. Demon Hunters get their own mount. That's kind of stupid in my opinion, but I haven't seen them, so I won't comment yet.
Yeah.
The idea of Demon Hunters getting their own... Oh! There's a little clip of it on YouTube. Here, I'll link it to you.
Oh, what is that?
It's just a static image that somebody made into a 6-minute or 6-second video. It's literally just a static shot, though.
Oh.
They don't look bad. I've never ever seen this type of demon before. It kind of reminds me of a...
What the hell?
It reminds me of a Fell Hunter, but in this case, it's a Fell Saber.
Oh my god.
It looks cool, actually. That is my biggest takeaway. It doesn't look terrible.
What on earth? Right, okay. Sure.
Okay. I
think
don't
that's
know
more-
why they're getting their own mount, but I won't complain.
Hmm.
And then Endgame, one more thing.
No, don't.
Sinard
do
is
it.
corrupted by Emerald, Nightmare, and Legion, and he's a raid boss. See what I mean by corruption and how Blues Natural rely on corruption to make new villains? This is why I don't like it. Because it bores me. Like- Like, fair enough, we'll fight Cenarius. I just...
No!
Can we stop corrupting people, please? Like, can you just...
I refuse this idea.
Okay, here's my thing. When did Warcraft... Let me do a little search real fast. Warcraft 3. When did Warcraft 3 come out? It came out in 2002. It's been 13 years. Cenarius has been around for 13 years. And Blizzard has had 13 years to make new villains. And instead, they just corrupted some guy. Like, can't you guys make another villain? Please? Like, you know who's great? Mr. Pandaria. We had the Mogu Emperor, the Thunder King. He was a great villain who they made and they developed, and he was awesome and a legitimate threat because they built him up over the expansion.
Yeah.
Garrosh is another example. I did not really like Garrosh becoming a villain, but I was okay with it because they developed him over the years. Sure, he seemed schizo at times, and everybody, like, I will be the first to admit that. I mean, I typed up a timeline of his moods and mindsets a while ago that I still look at sometimes because it is fun to see him fluctuate. But you can actually follow his path along too. Garrosh was developed over 3 expansions, really. He had a terrible ending, but he was still developed as a villain. Whereas Cenarius he is a good guy for 13 years. We're gonna slap him with corruption. Because fuck you, we needed a villain.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I just can't get behind it. I cannot get behind the corruption to make more villains.
I just
It is
reject the idea of scenarios.
so overdone. It is so overdone. Did I rant about this before? I don't know.
You did. I reject the idea of Cenarius becoming a villain of any description.
So much corruption. I can't stand it. Anyway,
It just doesn't make any sense.
so that's the main BlizzCon lore. You want to wrap it up, and then we can start another one about
The movie.
Ruby? Yeah.
I'd
Damn.
love to.
Okay, so great talk.
Right,
BlizzCon
nice,
lore, pretty
nice
good.
hustle. Yeah, pretty good. Okay, let's just have a wrap up. Pretty good. Some new lore out of nowhere. Some new lore sort of making sense. And
Frankly,
a
I
lot,
think.
a lot of huffing and puffing, but a lot of awesome.
Okay.
Yep, and if you're not going to watch the next one, thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for bearing with us. I hope you have a great weekend from me and Ruffin.
Yep.
I'll bid you adieu.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye.
I